Наша следующая остановка Джахангиром — это Abbey DLD Кембридж. Это наш второй колледж. Посмотрели сейчас CATS. Тоже очень престижный колледж открытого типа, международный колледж, многонациональный. У Abbey DLD есть несколько других центров. Один в Лондоне, он находится в самом центре. И недавно они открыли свой филиал в Манчестере. Сегодня мы находимся в центре в Кембридже. Сегодня хотим погулять по колледжу. Уже, смотрите, нарядили рождественскую елку. Какое 2 декабря уже елка в колледже стоит. Говорю тихо, потому что в соседнем холле идут экзамены. Это вот ресепшн колледжа.
What subjects are you interested in?
Subjects, well, I'm more like in physics, mathematics.
Okay,
Yeah.
physics, maths. So
Yeah.
you're a bit of a scientist.
Yeah.
Bit of an engineer maybe, or a bit of a
Yeah,
computer scientist.
Both, I'm not sure yet.
He wants to, if possible, combine computer science with engineering.
Yeah.
It is
Brilliant.
possible. It is possible.
Yeah, well, your maths and your physics. So the way we do it, obviously, through GCSE and A levels, you'd focus on that, and certainly for the top universities, physics, maths, further maths, and then you've got one other A level subject. So for the top universities, you want to be kind of doing really well in those subjects. And then what we do here is we have clubs. So we have like computing and coding clubs as well, as well as engineering clubs. So you can develop your interest certainly through the GCSEs, because the GCSEs are more broad. And then as you go into your A levels, you'll have what we call the pre-degree diploma. So that's where you'll be able to have specific lessons that are focusing towards engineering or towards computer science. So the idea is you can develop your application. But don't worry, certainly for GCSEs, it's quite normal for students to not have a big idea or have a couple of areas that they're interested in. So that's quite typical. Brilliant. Okay, right, we'll head along a little bit. Things like sports and different activities like clubs and things like movie nights as well, concerts. We had a nice Christmas
Ну, это
celebration.
как актовый зал.
So it's a nice space that we can use for lots of things. You can see,
Multi-purpose.
yeah, and you can see the exams is obviously probably the least fun thing we're doing it, but you know, really important that we have that. You've met our reception team. Obviously, a lot going on before Christmas. The students are in the last couple of weeks now, so they have these exams, and then we have a bit of a celebration over the next
Christmas
week or so.
party?
Yeah, sort of. Little parties in the boarding houses, but also we have a celebration. Like I say, we had our sort of big Christmas celebration just last week.
Рождественский
And
бал.
we'll have things like Christmas dinner and things like that.
Готовится последние 2 недели до
So it's quite a
Рождества.
nice time of year for students. But our reception is here, so this is where our reception team is based. Students obviously come in. Students come in and out of this area, and then meet our reception team. We also have security, so there's always someone around in this pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have a matron, so this is a medical centre here. So if students don't feel very well, if you've got a bit of a cold, you can go here and the
Можно
matron
всегда
will look after you.
постучаться в дверь, если ты недомогаешь,
Most of
чувствуешь
the
себя,
students live
как
within our
англичане
boarding
говорят,
houses.
poorly.
Also, all the house parents are first aid trained, so there's lots of healthcare provision. Hopefully, you never need it, but it's good to know that it's there.
So it's not just medical issues, it could be anything.
Yeah.
То есть по любым бытовым вопросам можно обращаться.
So if you have any
Не обязательно
medication
медицинские.
that you need to be administered, we'll keep it there. Obviously, if you're not feeling very well during the school day, if you feel bad during the boarding team are all first aid trained, and then we sign students up with a local doctor just up the road, and also with the National Health Service at the hospitals about a kilometre away. Like I say, it's little things like that, but mostly colds at the moment. Because we're a school, because we have 400 students, you know, tend to get colds at this time of the year.
Витамин С надо спить.
Right, we'll pop along a little. This is another thing we do in the hall. This is our graduation ceremony. So these were actually from a couple of years ago.
Выпускной вечер.
This is our principal.
Это директор.
And this is our year 13 students. So you'll come into year 11, sorry, as a 1-year GCSE student, and then traditionally students will do their GCSEs and then move on to A level for 2 years. So this is students who have completed their A levels, year 13, and also done the foundation program as well, which is a 1-year program. But the majority of our students do A levels. A levels gives you access. But our students are quite studious, so they do spend most of their time studying. But you can see actually
Общая комната.
it was our 25th birthday recently.
Студенческая.
So we actually had a celebration back in sort of earlier in the month. So we had a nice party because we've been going for 25 years. So the school was founded in 1994 in a completely different building, different location, a little bit closer to the city centre. But we had about 20 students.
25 лет назад они начинали с 20 студентов, и today
416 students.
16, well,
So probably about 440 students in January.
January.
So we've grown
grown.
a lot over the last 20 years. And you can see these are some pictures from a few years down the road. So the students put this together, which is really nice. So you can see we're a boarding school, so that means students, majority live with us. A few live independently, but the vast majority live in our boarding. We also have some host families, but most live in our boarding houses. What this means is we make sure there are lots of things for students to do. So you have your lessons. You'll have about 25 hours taught time in your A-levels, actually more for GCSE, about 30 hours taught time, but outside of that there'll be clubs, there'll be activities, there'll be trips at weekends as well.
Это все, что они делают в
This was actually in half term, so you can see we took a route to Warner Brothers Studios,
экскурсии, разные
and
школьные
also
поездки.
Comic-Con. And you can also see some of the other activities in the boarding houses that happen, so there was quite a lot going on over half term. Our students don't leave the school during half term, they can stay in the school.
Это вот как раз таки отвечая на ваш вопрос, то что не обязательно уезжать на каникулы домой, можно оставаться здесь.
And you can see some sports.
Half-term это и есть
Yeah,
каникулы.
so that was in October.
But bigger holidays they have to go home.
So Christmas, so the Christmas holiday.
Easter?
No,
No?
summer and
Oh.
Christmas. Rest of the time, the school's
Easter,
open.
it's a big holiday actually. So
Yeah, yeah. So we will do activities, trips. Quite often we do trips abroad as well, trips in the UK. So the
в
October half
большинстве
term they went
традиционных
to
английских
Barcelona.
школ нужно уезжать на
And
каникулы
I think
домой,
going
либо
forward
оставаться с
next
опекунами.
term,
Здесь
in
есть
February there's
опция
trip to
этого не
Venice.
делать и оставаться в
So
школе.
students can go
Школа,
on that. But
колледж
there's also trips in the
организовывает
UK
разные
as well.
мероприятия,
But you can just stay in
какие-то
your room.
поездки во время каникул.
But there are
Хотя,
lots
в
of clubs,
принципе,
lots of
традиционных
activities.
школ
There are
то
over
же самое
60 clubs
организовывается.
actually every week. 60 different clubs.
60 разных
Sports, creative clubs, and also clubs that
Спортивные,
are
креативные
kind of related to
клубы
your
по
subject.
интересам,
So, like I say, if you're interested in computer science,
факультативы.
coding club, yeah, engineering, electronic engineering, that kind of stuff as well. We work with a company called ARM, who are a Cambridge-based company. So every mobile phone in the world pretty much has ARM technology licensed in it.
Oh,
So they
yeah.
make microprocessors,
Yeah,
and microchips.
yeah.
So we actually use some of their technology for our students. So we have a club that work with those guys. So there are clubs that you can use to show your university that you are passionate about your subject and you've done more than the syllabus asks you to do, which is really important for the top universities. And there's also like rock band or basketball or football or swimming or photography. So there are clubs that are just designed to help you. We have exams going on at the moment. Students have study leave, which means they can revise in their rooms. So you may see some students walking around, but usually during the term time, this is shut
Это
off.
он-кампус общежития в Abbey DLD.
And for all of our
И Джон сейчас
all of our
рассказывает,
boarding
что
houses, it's the same rules basically.
это общежитие,
So we
оно
don't
во время
restrict access
учебного
during
дня
the school day.
закрыто.
On this floor, we have
Ученики
this
могут
house
сюда
have girls'
заходить
floors and
только
boys'
после
floors.
того, как учебный день
Okay, so where we're getting up to the
закончился.
third floor is a boys' floor. In the other boarding houses, we
И
have girls' blocks and boys' blocks, so we segregate
девочки
by
с
gender.
мальчиками разделены
Just
по
for we have a
этажам.
laundry.
Конечно, есть прачечная.
Important to know we have them. We have laundry houses like this in every single one of our boarding houses, and students have a laundry day.
So
your
they
laundry-
can wash as well as
wash
dry.
and dry, and it's
wash and
included,
dry.
yeah. So they're given a card basically, which we top up with credit.
Ah, right, okay. Пожалуйста, тоже это все
So although
бесплатно.
there are prices on it, because the system displays like this is essentially designed for universities where they would pay, we top the cards up with credit so they don't have to pay. So you'll have a laundry day. So it might be a Tuesday. Every Tuesday in the evening you can bring your clothes down. The house parents will supervise, but you do wash your own clothes.
It's good preparation for
Yes.
university life.
You can see we're not a traditional school. We like to give our students a bit more independence, a bit more responsibility, but with support.
With
Because
support.
Because we know we're preparing you for university.
Yeah.
So there are things like cooking classes and cooking lessons. You know, it sounds silly, but you know, it's really important. That's part of the reason why we kind of restrict access during the day as well, because you know, when you're with school, when you're at school, we want you to be prepared for school. You know, you can't just if I'm in my job, I can't just go home and get something if I forget it. So we want to teach our students a little bit of that kind of discipline.
Sure.
Create the rooms as they want.
Феликс. Здесь живет Феликс. Здесь живет Андерсон.
So students have
Lucian.
study areas and communal areas as well. So the important thing is we make sure that there are spaces where students can gather.
Yeah, of course,
congregate.
yeah,
So they're
it's
not
good
always in
idea.
their room by themselves.
Yeah.
So this is a study area, but it's
Все
also a
специальные
reception
комнаты,
area as
где
well.
они могут собираться вместе и ну,
So
общаться
we can
друг с
use
другом.
just for playing board games.
Yes, of course, yeah. It's your home, so kind of, you know, you can use it how you want.
Сейчас нам покажут одну из комнат. Джон рассказывает то, что есть twin rooms, но большинство комнат, это
Just going to
комнаты
check the room because I've
на
told it's all right.
одного
The
человека.
students should
Здесь
be
кто-то
awake.
живет. Алексей.
Hello, anybody in?
В этой комнате
Oh, he's
живет
not bad.
Алексей.
For a boy, this is good.
Для мальчика, говорит, нормальная комната, достаточно убранная.
So you can see. This is one of our single rooms. So quite bare actually. A lot of the students, especially the girls, they put posters
Yeah.
up and things. But
То есть ты можешь, в
he has it how he
принципе,
wants it.
украшать свою комнату как угодно. Ну, понятно, что не сдирая и звездку, и краску,
Yeah.
да.
So it's like your custom room. You can
Yeah.
customize it.
Pretty much, yeah. So you can see you have things like the bed. So a single bed, we provide the linen. So you can see this has fresh linen on and fresh towels. So once a week you'll get fresh linen and fresh towels. Underneath here you can lift this up and you can store cases. Obviously there's cases over there, but you can store underneath. You have storage for your books. When you have your lessons, we provide you with textbooks. Okay, so you don't need to have your own textbooks, but obviously many students will take the textbooks and bring them back here.
Yeah,
But
just study.
yeah, exactly. So you have access in
Yeah,
both
okay.
places, and you can access them all digitally as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the study desk, so you can bring your own devices, that kind of stuff. Most students will choose to buy devices in the UK, just because it makes more sense rather than carrying them back and forth, but you can bring your own devices. I've seen music she's doing, and you can see the GCSE students.
Есть свои собственные удобства. Сейчас попробуем зайти, прям
And you can,
посмотреть.
see, you can
Открываем дверь.
open the window partially, so you can
А,
use the
вот,
fresh
пожалуйста.
air.
Душевая, туалетная
You
комната.
know, the back of the corner, so this is bright
Отлично.
and then there's blackout.
Все великолепно.
You have Wi-Fi, which is separate from the main school, so you can use the Wi-Fi into the evening. It does have a cut-off in the evening.
You know, size-wise, this is just, even for universities, it's quite
Massive,
big.
yeah. Yeah, it's very big,
It's
yeah.
big, yeah.
Yeah, and you can see you have a small safe in the
Yeah,
closed
yes,
storage
yes,
area.
safe.
Yeah, actually, you know, a lot of students when they go to Cambridge, they think, you know, it's going to be very, very posh, but it's not.
It's not.
Very old buildings, and you get a bit of a shock. And you can see it's en suite, so you have your own bathroom. So basin, toilet, and shower, and this is cleaned once a week as well. So this is a single
Уборка
room.
раз в неделю.
Okay. So we have larger single rooms and slightly smaller. I think this is probably a larger one, to
Larger
be honest.
one, but that's
No
also-
difference in the facilities, you just have a bit more space.
Uh-huh.
But you can request either or. And like I say, some students will choose a twin room as well.
Yeah.
Okay. You locked it?
No, I think
Is that alright? I'll tell the
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I've just had poked my head in. Is that alright? Sorry, Dick. Just keep on doing what you're doing. So this is a common room. So this is a space for
Поздороваться не хочешь?
students to relax.
Как дела? Здорово.
So you
То есть
can
ты
see
здесь,
all
в этом
the
здании,
doors
да?
have this as a
Да.
space to relax in.
Все окей? Все нормально? Да? Доволен?
Да.
Да? Отлично.
You guys have got exams, yeah?
Getting ready? Yeah. So what's your you revising?
Further maths.
Further maths.
Yes, for this
Вау. Высшая математика. Крутяк. Молодец.
So
Ты
you
тоже
can see
further
this
maths сделал?
basic
Да?
kitchen area in here, so
Ну
you can
как,
do some
сложно?
food preparation.
Сложно,
You
да?
can make coffee. And the house parents who live with the students, they tend to put whatever the students want in here. So PlayStations, games, whatever you guys want in here as well.
Ну тут времени,
So we have
наверное,
quite
на
regular
games не
meetings
особо,
in
да?
here. So where we organise
вообще нет, да?
forums where the students all get together. So we'll
Не
get together,
очень.
say, the 20 or so
Но
boys
это
and
то,
girls.
что родители ваши хотели.
По сравнению с GCSE, да.
Да.
Together.
Вот,
Не,
э,
вообще не
вот правда, скажите, ты на GCSE тоже делал математику,
Да,
да?
я сделал.
Сделал. И вот эта разница между GCSE уровнем и A-level,
Конечно.
это такой скачок просто
Да.
сумасшедший.
Ну,
Все об этом
нет,
говорят.
У тебя все 9, да, почти,
Да.
GCSE. У меня тоже
всё равно
все
скачок,
A,
да,
там
есть.
8, 9.
То есть вы круглые отличники были на
Да,
GCSE,
сейчас,
а сейчас
Не, ну,
локти
сейчас тоже,
кусаете.
Ну, у нас из-за того, что на математике все равно нам дают еще сложнее примеры, и получается, что на экзамене мы все, ну, мы как готовы, потому что там все-таки, то есть у нас двойная нагрузка идет.
Не,
Нас
ну
готовят,
правильно, давайте,
да.
давайте, грызите.
Ну да.
Молодцы. Okay.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
We may have some exams
Mathematics.
going on.
So we'll be quiet then.
Yeah, I'll just double check. So we've got
Только вышли из общежития и сразу попали в учебный корпус. Сейчас нам покажут стандартную классную комнату. Это очень светлая.
So you can see this is typical classroom.
Посмотрите, вот в окно посмотрите, написано Cambridge University Press.
Average class size for us is 10 students.
Еще раз покажу.
Biggest class you'll be in will be 14 students.
Это
So what that means, it's quite a small class environment. There's a lot of interaction between teachers and students
боюсь
students.
профессически, что он
Can't hide.
рассказывает.
You will be asked questions.
Ну-ка давай, блесни своими знаниями, напиши какую-нибудь формулу.
А, нет, спасибо.
Не надо свои
This
ставить
is when I
эти.
always have to check if I've got the right pen. There we go. So most of the classes have at least 2 walls like this. Okay. So what you'll often see when a teacher teaches in the class, they'll actually move around. So they'll start maybe at the front and they'll move around the class. So as the lesson, which is about 50 minutes long, develops, they'll move around. So the work they've done at the start, and then they're progressing the ideas.
It's like dynamics, no?
Yeah, it's quite dynamic. Yeah, the idea is it engages the students. So you're not just sending it. You know, most classes, this kind of thing, write down the answers, and
I think it's.
but
just
here, if your
brilliant.
teacher moves around, and also they go, you show me. You know, that's kind of.
Yeah.
And what you've shown, what we know, is that if you stand at the front of the class, 10 people, and you go, who knows the answer? Yeah, a couple of students will go, me, because they always do. But there's students who know, but they're scared. Because it's that kind of traditional environment. But if you go, okay, you guys, there you go, you show me. You guys, you work on that part over there. People, like you did, you just went, hey, look, there we go, no problems. It's different, right? It feels different.
Feels
I can try.
different, yeah.
If I get it wrong, look, I can just look it out. Start again. So why we do this is because we want you to apply your knowledge. Because we want you to think about the answer. Because top universities, they want students who know the right answer, the wrong answer, but then they need to be able to explain why. Really important. And it's actually quite difficult. One of the things students can find quite hard, which you don't realise, is to explain your answer to someone else. Why have you come to that answer? Is there another way that you could do it? Can you see another perspective? So that's one of the reasons why we design our classes like this, to give our students knowledge of context, being able to think around the subject. Really important for the top UK universities. Okay. So yeah, so typical small classes. You can see everything here is maths. So we do maths, GCSE, maths, further maths, and also maths A-level, maths, further maths. Okay. In A-level this year, we got 87% A-star and A grades. 87% of all the exams taken in maths and further maths got A-star and A. Really, really good, right? So if you're doing maths, if you like maths, you're in a good place. You're going to find you're with some very, very high-performing students. Really, really good mathematicians who are going to be aiming for those top universities across all of our subjects. So actually at A-level we do 14 subjects, and we actually average 71% A-star and A grades. So that includes history, English literature, geography, art and design, economics, physics, chemistry, biology. Still 71% A-star and A. Just maths happens to be the top performing subjects. Maths and physics, very, 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 very popular. So we have a lot of engineers, a lot of computer scientists, a lot of pure mathematicians, a lot of physicists. So you'll be in good company.
Divided by houses too.
No, but they're probably in a tutor time actually. So that's why. So that's Richard next door is probably the personal tutor for those students.
This is physics class.
Physics, yeah. Sylvia's physics class. So each teacher owns their class. So interested in maybe doing GCSE.
Nice to meet you. Are you coming to do physics?
Oh.
Are you coming to do physics with us?
Yeah, maybe.
So you can see actually the houses we talked about. So you can see Susanna is in Hera, which is the peacock. So you can see they're her students there. So they meet with her every morning in this class. So she's a personal tutor. So for about 10 minutes.
That's it.
It's just a chance to kind of, before lessons start, before your lessons begin in earnest, it's just a chance to ask any questions, and Susanna will give you any information that you need. But then she'll meet with students more regularly. So the exams we're having at the moment, if any of her students are taking exams, after those exams she'll meet with them as well individually to feedback on how they've done. And then also you'll meet with all your subject tutors as well and your head of house. Okay, so Patrick, who's the head of house for Hera, will meet with you, and he's the person who also feeds back to your parents. And he also speaks to your house parents where you live. So we have a good idea of how you're getting on in the school, if you're making friends,
Такая система контроля, мониторинга
and how that links
достаточно
to your academic
серьезная.
performance with the tests that we do. Because those two things are very close. We have to make sure you have nice, sunny and cold.
Okay, sunny and cold, yeah.
although probably not that cold compared to
This is
Kazakhstan.
тоже учебный корпус, кстати. This is academic block as well,
Yeah,
right?
so two main blocks of the school.
Yeah.
So
Вот это academic block,
the larger
и
block we
вон
call
тот
block A.
тоже.
So we have some lessons above us there. So if you're studying maths and physics, you're over there. Maths further, maths and
This is
physics.
your home.
Yeah, and then block B, you can see we have lessons like biology, economics, business studies on that first floor, and also where you can just see on the top left where the curtains are drawn down, that's where we do academic English. So certainly at GCSE you'll study maths and English as compulsory subjects, so all UK students will study that, but then for our students when they do A-level they do 4 academic subjects but also English. So you have about 5 hours of English a week as well.
Okay.
So we're teaching that to enable students, one, to access the curriculum, because we use different terminology. Are you studying in the UK at the moment, or?
No.
So you're back home in Kazakhstan, so you're studying in an international school or a British school?
No.
Okay, no problem.
Just
You've got
Just
very good
normal.
English. Very good English. Many of our students have studied in those schools and they'll study in English, but they might use different terminology. So we have to teach the right terminology to access the curriculum, because if physics, for example, a piece of apparatus, you call it the wrong name, you'll lose marks, even though it's the right, you know what it is.
Right.
So we're doing that to enable our students to get the best results, but also for university. So if you want to go to Cambridge University,
Get IELTS, high score in IELTS.
7.5 is what you need. So we teach that until you get to 7.5, and then it becomes optional. Okay. So block B, we also have a little study area over there. So on the ground floor there is a sort of quiet study space. If you want to go and revise and you know it's going to be quiet because our staff are there. And there's a small gym on the left-hand side. So like running machines, rowing machines in there.
Даже свой есть тренажерный зал.
And on the right-hand side is like a staff area as well. Over in Block B, Block A, so you can see on this ground floor it's kind of communal. So there's a common room. So that's a space for students to relax. The dining room, so it's where students have their meals.
Ну, мы туда зайдем еще.
And
Просто
then
сейчас он
above the dining
дает
room,
нам
just there, you can see
ориентацию.
some of the.
Вот, кстати, Нур-Султан. Здорово. Как дела? Нормально, да? Ты на экзаменах, нет?
Да, да. У меня сейчас будет экзамен.
Ну, сейчас будет, да? Ясно.
А вы прошли просто...
Да, вот показывай Джахангиру, познакомься, да. Я потом, если ты не против, я дам твой контакт, да? Не против? Все, good luck with exams. Okay? Да, пока.
Very stressful time. So students who live in the
Столовая.
boarding houses, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is provided.
And it's help yourself service, basically.
So yeah, basically you'll come in. If there's lunchtime, for example, you grab a tray. There are always 3 main options. So 2 meat dishes, 1 vegetarian dish, and then sides, which are things like vegetables, pasta, rice, a salad bar, fruits and vegetables. So for lunch, we have a set time, so you'll come down, say, with the other students doing GCSE, and then, say, maybe the A-level students will come down a bit later, because we have to get everyone through.
Yeah, of course.
But then for breakfast and for dinner, you have about 2 hours slot. So you can come straight after school at 4:30 and have your food, or you can wait. If you're doing clubs and activities, you can come a bit later. And likewise at weekends, it's a bit more relaxed. Yeah. So you can see students use this as a space to study and revise. There's room for about 200 students.
And you have small coffee shop as well,
Yeah, the
да?
coffee shop's just at the end there, I'll show you. So what we do...
Можно всегда прийти и заказать чашечку кофе с чаем.
All your meals are provided, but if you want to come and grab a tea, grab a coffee, grab a drink, as these students are, you can come along here outside in the main
И
dining time.
китайцы очень любят noodles.
A range of different things. Also, if you don't like any of the hot options, you can also swap with a muffin or a sandwich or a snack. Students, you can see there are additional charges, so your meals are provided, but if you want to come and buy a tea or a coffee, you just use your card. So on there you can add credit.
Yeah, there's a school bank, то есть у них ты открываешь свой депозитный счет в колледже и можешь расплачиваться прям карточкой колледжа.
Just means you don't have to carry cash around. Obviously, we help you open a bank account for going outside and things like that. But it means you don't have to carry cash, and also, you know, your mum and dad can top up, and you don't have to worry about losing
Вы
anything.
будете видеть его затраты здесь. Тоже очень удобно, на самом деле.
And you can see there's
It's very,
a
very
lot of
convenient.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, very nice. Very good system. I do it as well, so we have it to all the staff. We top up, and people come in, they want to buy a coffee. I say you can't. I have to buy you one. But, when we sit down, maybe I'll give you guys a coffee so we can have a sit down. Thank you. Excellent. Right, we'll pop up, have a look at the boarding. I'll show you a room in Abbey House. never usually this many teachers in here, but because it's exams, they haven't got classes.
Okay.
Too busy marking. So we had a look at Abbey House. That didn't go over this way. Really nice Abbey, actually.
Yeah.
It's quite rare for it to be like this. Usually rains this time of year. This is the part of the UK that rains the least, though, I will let you know. And it's also the warmest part of the UK officially. We had the warmest day ever recorded last year, and it was in Cambridge. It was literally behind that building. The Botanical Gardens for the university. It was 38.6 degrees.
Wow.
How hot does it get in Kazakhstan in the summer?
Some
Yeah,
places.
could be up to plus 40.
40. 38 was enough for me. It was like, you open the door, it's like being in an oven.
It's because it's humid as well.
Yeah, humid, yeah, that's the thing. You couldn't breathe, there's no air. But you can actually see some of the classes.
Ага.
And you can actually see over there, can you see the screen with the countdown? That student's doing practice
Биология,
exams.
химия.
So the teachers are helping them practice their exams under time conditions. So we do a lot of work to prepare our students. You can see biology, you can see business and economics classes there, and the academic English. You can see down to the courtyard, over into Abbey House where we're looking at the room. You can actually see down to the end of the road here. This is called Homerton Gardens. You can see there is kind of bollards there, so we can't get cars through. So it's nice and quiet. Just beyond where the trees are, that's Homerton College. That's one of the colleges of the University of Cambridge. So people say to me, "Where is the University of Cambridge?" In Cambridge, everywhere, all around us.
Yeah.
This is the whole reason for this city to exist. But we have our Christmas ball there, for example, so the students can go over and have a lovely meal and dance, and we like to get them access to university departments. So if you like engineering, we do trips to the University of Engineering Department, Cambridge.
Can you just mention that you are neighbors with the Cambridge Assessment Center?
Yes. Well, actually, that's the...
And the press as well.
Yeah,
Это
Cambridge-
экзаменационный, получается, мозговой центр Кембриджского университета. И вот кембриджские экзамены все известные во всем мире, они разрабатываются
So if
именно
you're taking
здесь.
any GCSEs, if the OCR exam boards, CIE,
They're all created
they're
here.
written here.
They're
Yeah,
written
so,
here.
so many of the
Здесь-
exams that our students take
создают их
are
здесь,
written
да.
there. So Cambridge is a huge education city, and also so you've got Cambridge Assessment. They're the exams department for the university, hence why you've got the university crest there.
Yeah.
That's the Cambridge University crest. So they're the exams department, and they're Europe's largest assessment agency as well. So we do actually do work with them as well. They come in and observe lessons because, you know, they have a school next door that they can come in and see how the exams apply and things like that. So
Yeah.
we do work quite closely with them, which is really nice. And then Cambridge University Press, which is where many of the Cambridge University textbooks are printed.
It's
and,
over there,
and created.
yeah.
It's just that building there.
Very good neighbors you have here.
Strange rooms.
Yes. It's actually quite a big site. It actually goes all the way around here. That's kind of the area where they do the printing, and they actually mark a lot of English test papers. So if you do you ever heard the KET, the PET, the English test, the pre-U's, they're all marked over there. So they come in from all around the world, and they literally mark readers, but they have staff who kind of check the process.
And please correct me if I'm wrong. This is another student residence.
Yes, so this is
that
the
you
Purbeck
mentioned.
House. Yep. So actually, you can see Purbeck House here. So this is the off-campus residence for students when they're 16. Move across. Very popular. About 150 rooms there, big rooms. And then behind, if you just see the building just
One
behind,
more, yeah.
the roof, that's
Same looking
Tripos
building,
School.
yeah.
Yeah. So over there, so here we have about 150 rooms. Over in Tripos, we have about 100 rooms.
100
So we
rooms.
have over 300 on campus or next door. So this is where, if you come and join us, you'll be spending the majority of your time. In year 13, we have another boarding house called Orchard House, which is a little bit further away. It's over basically behind those tall buildings there in the background. So that's for year 13 students, and that's probably the closest to living an independent university lifestyle. But new students wouldn't do that. That's basically students who are returning for year 13, maybe 17 or 18 years.
18-year-olds,
they would live
yeah.
there. There are still house parents there, so still curfews and things like that. But again, it's a little bit independent of the school. But certainly for a new student, would be called Tripos.
Oh, great.
Cambridge City Centre's over in that direction. Before that huge building was built, there you could see the King's College and things like that. But now they've built that, so you can't see anything. But it's about 2 kilometres away. So you can bike to the city centre, you can walk to the city centre. There's buses at the top of the road there. And like I say, for our sports as well, we don't have big playing fields here. We do some sports below us, like badminton, table tennis in the hall. But for football, for example, we use pitches that are about 1 kilometre away. Basketball, we use this facility here, which is a sports centre. We also do tennis there at weekends. So we use sports facilities around Cambridge, and we transport the students. Okay,
Great.
So you can do lots of sports. If you're interested in a particular sports, the students start their own clubs, and we help them as well. So.